Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech and this is a camera comparison between the Redmi Note 5 and the Redmi Note 5 Pro. On the rear, Redmi Note 5 comes with a single 12 megapixel camera with f2.2 aperture and dual tone dual LED flash. On the front, it sports a 5 megapixel camera with a dedicated soft light. On the rear, Redmi Note 5 Pro sports a dual camera setup with a 12 megapixel primary camera with Sony IMX486 sensor with f2.2 aperture, followed by dual LED flash and a 5 megapixel secondary camera with f2.0 aperture, dedicatedly used for depth sensing. On the front, it has a single 20 megapixel camera with Sony IMX376 sensor with f2.2 aperture. Now let's look at the camera interface. So guys, this is the camera interface of the Redmi Note 5 Pro, and this has been redesigned from the previous Redmi phones and it looks a lot more like the Oppo, Vivo phones or even the iPhones. So you can swipe left or right to switch between different modes. If you swipe to the left side, we have the portrait mode, and if you click this button over here, it'll switch to the front facing camera. We even have the portrait mode for the front facing camera, and you need to press this button over here to enable portrait mode. We also have a shortcut over here for portrait mode, but if you swipe to the left side, it'll switch to the rear camera. Now to access settings, press this button and click settings. Now from here you can change all these settings. Now if you want to change the video resolution or enable or disable electronic image stabilization, select video mode and then go to settings, and in settings over here you can change the video quality. Right now there's no 4K option, we can only record video in Full HD, but we have image stabilization, that's electronic image stabilization. Once you enable it, sensor is cropped a little to stabilize the footage. Now we also have slow motion and time lapse, and if you go to the photo mode and go to the front facing camera, it even has auto HDR. By the way, that doesn't work with the portrait mode. Now this is a toggle for flash. It has auto flash and always on flash. So that is how the flash looks. So guys, that was the camera interface of Redmi Note 5 Pro. So guys, this is the camera interface of the Redmi Note 5, the phone with a single camera. In terms of camera interface, there is nothing new. Almost all the Redmi phones come with the same UI. You can press this button to see the extra options. You can click this button to switch between the front camera and the rear camera. Next we can press this button over here for filters. Over here we have the toggle for auto flash. This phone even comes with a front facing flash, and we have the same toggle over here. We can use auto flash or use it like a torch. So we have the LED light over there. Next we have HDR mode for the rear camera. You can access it from here, but unfortunately there is no auto HDR. So that's a really sad thing. To record video, you can press this button and click the red button to start recording video. Now to change the video resolution, you need to go to options in the video mode and then select settings. From here you can change the video resolution. Yes, this phone supports 4K natively. So that's a good thing, but there's no video stabilization on this phone. So even if you choose to record in 4K, footage will be very shaky and pretty much unusable. So guys, that was the camera interface of the Redmi Note 5. Now let's look at some sample shots. All these pictures were taken in the evening around 4:30 PM. Both the phones lack auto HDR, so all these images were taken with HDR off. On Redmi Note 5, colors are to the warmer side, and the difference is easily noticeable. Even on Note 5 Pro, colors are slightly to the warmer side, but with more contrast. Both phones overexpose the shot, but Note 5 does it more and loses details at the overexposed part. Dynamic range is better on Note 5. Capturing speeds and focusing speeds are equally good on both phones. Now these are some pictures taken with HDR on. Once again, Note 5 overexposes the shots, makes them bright and warm. Images from Note 5 Pro look dull and darker, but they have better color reproduction and maintain a lot of details. Check this image for an instance. Dynamic range, color reproduction and sharpness are much better on Note 5 Pro. With HDR on, capturing speeds were same on both the phones. Both took around a second to capture the shot. Now these are some macro shots. Both phones take good macro shots with good bokeh effect, but while taking macro shots, focusing speeds on Note 5 Pro was slightly slower than Note 5. So for regular pictures, Note 5 Pro is significantly better than Note 5, especially in terms of color reproduction. Note 5 Pro uses the dual camera setup on the rear to offer us a portrait mode. Note 5 has only one camera on the back, so it does not offer this feature. On Redmi Note 5, edge detection is not perfect, but good for the price. Probably the best in the price segment. Some edges are soft and some are inaccurate, but that's manageable. In good lighting conditions, you get even better portrait shots. It even did a good job with my dog in it. Color reproduction is also good. Now coming to selfies, Note 5 Pro comes with a 20 megapixel selfie camera and Note 5 comes with a regular 5 megapixel camera. So Note 5 Pro is undoubtedly the winner for taking better selfies. Now those were just the specs. Now if you look at the actual images, Note 5 Pro offers better dynamic range, wider selfies and better skin tones. Just like Oppo and Vivo, Note 5 Pro overexposes a shot to make you look fair. So in some situations, images might look blown out. But still, in most of the cases, selfies look much better on the Note 5 Pro. These are some selfies taken in low light conditions. Both the phones offer a dedicated front-facing flash, but results are always better on Note 5 Pro. In low light, both take soft selfies, but comparatively, selfies on Note 5 Pro are more sharper, wider, and brighter than Note 5 selfies. Both the phones come with a single camera on the front, but still, Note 5 Pro offers portrait selfies just by using the single camera and some software processing. These are regular selfies with blurred background. Edge detection and background blur effect is pretty good. It's a software feature, so even Note 5 should be able to do it, but for some reason, Xiaomi didn't include this feature on the Note 5. Now coming to low light performance, in low light, both phones do a good job. But comparatively, images from Note 5 Pro are brighter, have more sharpness and better color reproduction. Even in low light, colors are slightly to the warmer side and look slightly faded on Note 5. Now coming to video recording, here's the sample footage.
Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech and this is the camera comparison between the Redmi Note 5 Pro and the Redmi Note 5. I have the Redmi Note 5 Pro on the left side and the Redmi Note 5 on the right side, and I'm recording video in 1080p on both the phones, so you can check out the stabilization, and the audio is also from the phone itself, so you can check out the noise cancellation too.
Redmi Note 5 Pro can only record video in 1080p, but it offers electronic image stabilization for the front and rear cameras, and that's a huge advantage. Footage from Note 5 Pro is more stable, with better color reproduction and exposure shift. Note 5's footage looks warm, shaky, and lacks good exposure control. Now coming to the front camera video recording, here's the sample footage. Once again, Redmi Note 5 Pro offers electronic image stabilization even for the front camera, but the footage is not as stable as the rear cameras, but it is more stable than Note 5. Coming to the footage itself, Note 5 Pro's footage is more wider with better exposure control and better dynamic range. Even the skin tones look much better than the Note 5. On Note 5, when there is a bright background, subject becomes darker and the entire footage becomes dull, which is a pretty bad thing. So even for the front camera video recording, Note 5 Pro is the winner. So guys, the conclusion is pretty simple. Redmi Note 5 Pro is a great value for money. For just 2000 rupees more, you're getting better cameras, better performance, and additional features like portrait mode for the front and rear cameras, along with electronic image stabilization and face unlock features. So out of these two phones, definitely get the Redmi Note 5 Pro. If cameras are not your priority and you don't play games, then you can buy the Note 5. But I would still recommend you to get the Note 5 Pro if you are planning to use the phone for a very long time. So guys, looking at the sample pictures and the sample footage, which phone do you think did better and why? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you are planning to buy either of these phones, use the link in the description. It really helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to see more cool videos on tech. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.